Before I started to enjoy roller coasters, I was really afraid of them. A lot of them can be quite daunting, especially because here in the UK, a lot of our themes are dark. There is quite a big gap in the market for gateway coasters, which I think is a shame, because a lot of the time you have to go from a family coaster with a few helixes on it to this absolutely horrendous coaster that's about 200 foot tall, flip you style.
Imagine being scared of a roller coaster in 2025.
Shut up, I will spin your jaw. Coasters with fewer inversions don't typically exist. And because you'd never want me teaching you a maths class, here's ChatGPT explaining the average amount of inversions on UK coasters. Let's find out what ChatGPT thinks are the most prominent roller coasters in the UK. Here we go. The Smiler. That is pretty significant in terms of UK history, right? Colossus is an absolute win. Nemesis. I do love Nemesis. Saw the Ride. You're gonna give me Saw the Ride on a... You're counting the inversions on prominent coasters and you pick Saw the Ride. Oblivion, I'd say that's pretty prominent, especially in history. Stealth and Rita. Well, mate, just to burst your bubble here, these coasters don't have inversions, so I don't know what you were cooking up here. Icon? Okay, I'll let that one in. Infusion? Guys, ChatGPT is an infusion lover. If we're gonna assume that it's correct, we have an average of 4.3 inversions per coaster. Okay, so now we know why robots won't be taking over. Next, they'll be putting turbo on their top 10. Every coaster enthusiast starts somewhere, and for some it can definitely be intimidating. So if you are wanting to get into coasters and can handle the smaller ones, here's my recommendations, along with what to expect, so you can continue your journey to overcome them. I did want to mention it's important to be in the right mindset before you do something like overcoming a fear. Sometimes doing it with a friend who's equally scared can help ease the nerves. But don't worry, you're gonna slay so hard, you'll be Q4 qualified. A lot of fear stems from the unknown, so going on a roller coaster like Rattlesnake might be less intimidating, as you can see the whole layout from multiple angles. It's a nice introduction to different forces, which include sharp turns, airtime, near misses. The drops aren't too high, and the ones that are a bit steeper are profiled in a way that makes it less intense, like using bunny hills. It's a really happy, upbeat themed coaster, and it's a pleasure to queue for. There's no man on a TV telling you there's no way out or happy ending to this story or something like that. I would never memorize a quote from a coaster. For some things, there is no rational explanation. As for what to expect from Rattlesnake, it's definitely the opposite of a smooth experience. If possible, I recommend sitting in the middle of the seat so that you aren't slamming into one side. It evens out better, but it's such a fun coaster, and I would recommend it to anyone who wanted to try something a bit more interesting than a regular family coaster.
Ricky Dicky Doo-Dog Rhymes.
The only thing that holds this coaster back is its height restriction. I really enjoy The Walking Dead, but for an indoor family coaster, 1.4 meters is definitely pushing it. But don't let that get you worried. The height limit doesn't represent how intense of a ride experience it is. It's more so due to the fact that it features zombies and props that aren't very PG-13. Like someone being hung. The Walking Dead is basically an oversold family coaster, and I love it for that. If you're a fan of scare mazes, you'll immediately fall in love with this indoor experience. The ride is really smooth considering its age, and the theming is really nice. If you enjoy horror, that is. The layout's mostly made up of bank turns and straight track with a few drops. Nothing huge, but it's important to note that they can happen quite suddenly if you aren't prepared. The fact that it's indoors might freak people out, and that's totally understandable, but there isn't any hidden inversion inside of the big building. Or is there? Wicker Man is one of the best family thrill coasters that we have in the UK. It doesn't feature any inversions, but if you're wanting to explore coasters that are a bit faster, I highly recommend trying out Wicker Man. The layout is visible from the queue line, and although it might look a bit intimidating, don't worry, the story's not that bad, you're just being burnt alive. Wicker Man is a wooden roller coaster, which means that it isn't as smooth as a regular one.
But Q4, that's why we like them, they're authentic.
Well, yeah, it's no Grand National, don't get me wrong, I don't think Wicker Man is rough by any means, but I know a lot of regular people find it quite intense because of the way that it can chuck you about like a rag doll. This is especially true the further back you go on the train. If you get the opportunity to sit towards the front and you're a bit nervous, I'd highly recommend doing it, but Alton Towers don't usually let you choose rows unless it's a quiet day. 13 is another one of those rides that are themed scarier than they actually are, but that makes it a perfect bridge coaster. It's got a lot of twists and turns, but not in an intimidating way. They're fairly low to the ground, and the main drop itself has a trim on it. However, don't underestimate 13. That drop track is more forceful than Scarab bouncers at Legoland. It's a good introduction to airtime without going too far, and it also tests your ability to be able to go backwards. If you can't handle 13's backward section, I wouldn't recommend doing other coasters that are the shuttle type. Shuttle's just a fancy word for going forwards and backwards.
Hurricane Katrina! more like hurricane tornado.
In the UK, I believe that Maurer spinners are more intense than Mack ones. Because of this, Storm Chaser at Poulton's Park is a great trial to see if you would like the spinning coasters at other parks. The layout does have its intense moments, especially at the lower helixes, but as a whole, the ride isn't too fast, but spins just enough for those wanting to take the next step. Personally, I think that Velociraptor is the most intense ride at the park. It's also the fastest. If you didn't like 13's backward section, then definitely stay away from Velociraptors. It makes me feel severely unwell. Who needs Velocicoaster when you've got Velociraptor? The best part about Storm Chaser, other than its wonderful theming, is it's next to the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster, Farmyard Flyer. Absolute weapon.
Number 15. Burger King foot lettuce.
So if you're okay with speed, airtime, and slightly edgy themes, then now you're ready for the epic Mandrill Mayhem. This will get you comfortable with inversions and launches at the same time. Don't be put off by your first ride. As for me, I didn't like it. It was too scary. Yes, I know, you heard that correctly. Anyway, moving on. The choice of inversion on it is perfect, whether you think it's a heartline roll, inline twist, Shadow the Hedgehog, it's one of those inversions. You take it at a nice pace, which leaves room for hang time, which is one of my favourite roller coaster elements. This type of inversion is way less intimidating, and a really good choice on Chessington's part. When you come into the world of Jumanji, you might think that the inversion is the scariest part, but think again. It's that goofy junior scorpion tail that really gets your flipped stomach going. After you come down from the spike, you make your way through the station at the fastest point of the ride, which is still slower than Vampire. 1 nip. Some people forget that restraint type plays into fear, and the fact that Mandrill Mayhem has a vest restraint makes it more appealing to the regular guest. And me, which is the most important, obviously. It just feels like a nice hug, and it's great to have something to hold on to. There is this weird rumor with rides that if you keep your eyes closed, it's less scary, but it actually leads to motion sickness, so try not to do that. Stay strong, you gotta hashtag just do it. Apart from Rattlesnake and its utterly ridiculous 1.4 meter height restriction, Galactica's the only other one on this list. But I strongly believe that Galactica is a great gateway coaster. Do you get the pun? Gateway coasters. Holy sh**, I read the title of the video. If you know you can't do the rides mentioned in this list, then maybe stay away from Galactica as you don't know where your limit is. But if you can do these coasters and want to try out a more thrilling attraction, definitely try out Galactica. It's very slow and smooth with nice comfortable restraints. Going head first might be a bit jarring, and I know a lot of people get nauseous from it, but Galactica really is a gentle giant. It's the only coaster in the UK that's a flying type, and with the combination of your hands being free while going head first, it makes you feel like you're in the next Marvel movie. The amazing Galactica Volume 3 Reborn Morbius Edition. As I've said in some of my other videos, I know a lot of enthusiasts don't like Galactica because it's slow or not as well themed, but I think that's stupid because Hyperia exists. What? Oh wait, hold on guys, I'm just getting a message. Hyperia's got grass now! Okay, I take it back guys, Hyperia is the best themed coaster in the UK. Don't be afraid of Galactica because it has a nice bright theme which is quite uplifting and encouraging for such an intimidating ride. It's more or less the same as Mandrill Mayhem because the inversions are taken quite slowly and the most intense part is the fly to lie. It just feels like you're getting punched in the stomach and throat, but other than that, it's fine. I only really covered the coasters that I personally know. Do you think there's any coasters that I was missing from the list, or do you disagree with me? Either way, I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video or made you laugh, consider checking out some of my other videos, or even subscribe, as there'll be more on the way soon. This video ended up coming out later than expected, and we're at 3,000 subscribers right now. I'm sobbing behind the screen, guys. But sincerely, thank you all so much for the support. It's absolutely surreal. Keep an eye out for another theme park quiz. This will be the biggest one yet. I hope you guys are all doing well. Take care, nerds.
Where is my son? It's been days since he's come home. I gave him my best tank to silence that crocodile once and for all. If there's so much as a scratch on my beautiful tank, I'll personally visit the crocodile myself. Hello? Amanda Thompson? Why do you disturb a god of pain?
Your Honor, it's your son.
Sorry, say that again?
Hero told me he was last seen in space.
He's where?
What on earth am I going to tell my dad? I was going through a phase.
Never quit your day job.
I have observed your war for decades, and while it's been entertaining to watch, I have come down to tell you, you aren't safe here anymore.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I've been fending them off for ages. Saw isn't very scary. Colossus sent him into space like last week. He won't bother me for a while.
It's not Billy you should be afraid of.
It's his boss.
Yeah, right. They can try.
Don't say I didn't warn you, dear. Absolutely. Why do I even bother?
It's been a lot quieter without Saw. It's like I don't have anything to complain about anymore. What am I supposed to do now? Make positive theme park content? Pfft, no one does that. What the flip is that? Order in the spaceship like no other.
Who made you the judge? I'm the original.
Why am I here?
We're here to warn you. We value your fight against Saw. None of us actually like them. They smell.
He reversed into my new car. I'm still livid.
The croc must be destroyed before the balance is shifted. Without Saw, we aren't whole.
Surely not. That seems a bit dramatic. There must be another way around it. This is my fault after all. I shouldn't have got involved.
Is this true?
Yeah, they're bum chums.
Wow, you're baiting them out that easily? What a snake.
Rich coming from a poo mountain.
God, they just changed their appearance. Saw can't be that smart.
That's a good idea.
Wasn't there something John Burton wrote about fusions?
Wrong park, buddy.
Not infusion, you twit. Fusion.
Who would be willing to fuse with the croc then?
Absolutely not. No way, Jose.
To be honest, if the crocodile didn't live on my turf, maybe the water bills wouldn't be so high.
Wow, okay, thanks.
I'll do it.
The glazing is crazy.
Wait, really? Alright, it's decided.
You're both useless.
That's definitely different enough.
That suits you well.
Will this version of the crocodile actually go on stealth?
Yeah, let's not get carried away there. How do you feel? Thank you so much for all of your help and not killing me. I'm sure it will work. Can I help you?
I'm looking for this crocodile. Have you seen them?
No idea who that is, babe.
How long have you been a crocodile?
Since birth, actually. You can ask Inferno.
I dropped them their head at birth.
Sorry to disturb you both. Have a nice day.
What a dumbass.